Good morning, everyone. I am excited. So we're on a little field trip here this morning. We are at Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, and I always get excited when we get out of Hy-Vee and we go on a little field trip to a new location. So I'm glad that you guys are all joining us this morning. I want to start off the show by saying thank you to all of our sponsors, and then we're going to get the chance to meet the new director of Trinity Muscatine, the hospital over here. So I'm excited to introduce her to you all. She's a familiar face in the community, so if you don't already know her, today you're going to get the chance to know her a little bit better. So I am excited about that. But first of all, our sponsors include Muscatine Power and Water, Rivo Plumbing and Heating, our friends at Impact Life Blood Center. If you are eligible right now and are able to donate, please go and make a blood donation. Let's make sure we keep those shelves full so that when we need it, we have it. Also, Lutheran Living and Impact Fitness and Nutrition. It's Wellness Wednesday, and they're a sponsor of Wellness Wednesday, so we're happy to have them on board. Toyota of Muscatine, Becky Financial Services, Suntan City, Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, of course, our friends at Hy-Vee, and then our newest sponsor, Harper Cycling and Fitness. So thank you guys so much for sponsoring the show. So like I said, we're on a little field trip here. We got to visit the hospital. We're at Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, and I'm sitting here with the new director, which is so exciting.
Yes.
So you've lived in Muscatine forever and ever.
Yeah.
And, so that's all good and well. And lots of the people watching probably already know you, or at least recognize your face. But I want to kind of talk a little bit and kind of let people into, I don't know, just what you're excited for about the position, just some general things so that they can kind of get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
If you want to just start off by introducing yourself, telling us exactly what your new title is here and kind of what that means for that position.
Yeah. So yes, I'm Rachel Pohl. I'm the executive director for Trinity Muscatine. So that means that locally, I'm here to support this campus. Trinity, we're part of a larger region, and so we're one of 4 affiliate hospitals. So the Trinity Muscatine campus is, the focus of where I support, the operations and clinical operations for both the hospital and help also support the relationship with the clinic as well. So everything kind of local to this campus.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be given this position? So you've been at the hospital for a while.
Yeah.
In a leadership role, but this is like a new exciting role, a huge leadership role at the hospital. So how does it feel to kind of be given that position and to get started?
Well, it is exciting. It's really exciting. So I've been the director of patient services for the last 7.5 years. And so in that role, I think I just was given, a lot of good opportunity to meet the staff and work with the people that are doing the most important work here at the hospital. I, was able to develop a lot of relationships locally and importantly also throughout the region and the system. And so it's a privilege to be in this position. I'm excited. I felt like it was, an opportunity that, I just felt really excited to even be able to take advantage of. And so when we kind of start looking at, the future and future plans, this position is there to just make sure that Muscatine is supported and has, we always have a seat at the table, with the region, and we're always working collaboratively. And so I'm just really excited to be able to be a part of everything that's happening in healthcare, especially locally.
Yeah. It's exciting for Muscatine to be able to be a part of a bigger system, for sure.
Yes.
But so important that for our community that, we have a representative like yourself to kind of say, like, hey, we're not exactly like the Quad Cities, know. So I think it's awesome that we have that voice in you, and you can kind of speak to our own community and our own needs here, and kind of, again, like you just said, have the voice at the table when you go up to the Quad Cities with the big the whole system, and kind of sit there and say, like, okay, well, this is what we need in our community, and we can feel like we still have that voice here at our own local hospital as well. So that's very cool.
That collaboration is so important.
And absolutely. So you kind of answered this already, but I think what kind of makes you a little bit different than some of the past directors and leadership roles is that you've had a leadership role here.
Sure.
And so what do you think, is there anything specific that you can say, that you feel like you can use,
Sure.
coming into this new role, being able to, I mean, you already talked about, the staff, you're a familiar face here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you think, is going to kind of help those experiences that will kind of help in this position?
I mean, I think just coming in as a nurse, my background is in nursing, and so the lens in which I try and look through healthcare and look through things is through the lens of a nurse and having been in that position. And so I think that that's a little bit, different, a little bit unique sometimes with some of these, certain leadership roles within healthcare. The person that might be in my position doesn't always have that background.
Right.
And so I think it's exciting to be able to come into that position and look at it through the lens of someone who's, always been engaged in what's happening at the bedside and the patient perspective, for sure.
Yeah.
To your point, I think the local ties and the local involvement is, exciting, even just for having the opportunity to get feedback, the opportunity to be present when people are discussing their experiences at the hospital and being able to see that through the lens of what might have been going on with the nurse at that time or the provider or, just the clinical setting in general. And so I think that those are, areas that I think I can offer and bring to the table in this position and try and make sure that we're as patient focused, regardless of, what the conversation at the time is, that it always is coming back to the patient and, the staff taking care of the patient.
Yep, absolutely. I love that. So whenever we get going in a new position or we start something new, we always have we always have our own goals and kind of like some of them are lofty, some of them are just little goals, but what do you kind of hope to accomplish within this new role that you already have in mind? I'm sure this will grow as you kind of get your feet underneath of you and move forward, but just getting started, what are some of those goals that you have that you really want to kind of
working on?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that, keeping as much care local, having as many opportunities for specialties locally in Muscatine is, a shared goal amongst the region and certainly a goal of mine.
Yep.
And so anytime you're part of a larger system, but in, a little bit of a smaller market, I think that you need to be aware of how do you make sure that you have providers in certain subspecialties available so patients aren't always having to travel outside of town for care. And so, looking at new opportunities on the horizon for that is a big focus for me. In the last 2 years during the pandemic, there was certainly a lot of difficulty in trying to start new things or bridge some of those gaps. And so I think being in a position right now to start having more of those conversations and make sure that we have as many opportunities available for patients locally and families locally is, kind of a strategic goal of mine. I think that personally, the staff here has really been through a lot, and I think that I really want to be a driving force behind maintaining what I feel is a really amazing culture that we have as a team here, and working just to ensure that, new team members that we have coming into healthcare now, I think anyone entering healthcare after the last 2 years might feel a little bit guarded. And so just making sure that we can maintain, the relationship and the culture that we have as a team here at the hospital is another big goal of mine, and making sure that their voices are heard as well as the patients.
Yeah. I think, even working here in the past, it's like, it's a small enough hospital that you know each other, you do feel truly like a family, and people say that all the time, but it's small enough here that you know the faces, people's names, even if they're not working directly in your department.
Yeah.
And it's so important to continue that culture. And I mean, there's been so much happen in the last few years. And so I love that that's one of your main goals, is just to continue to, because if you keep your employees happy and the nurses and the staff here happy, I mean, they're going to put out such better work.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think just, wanting this to be a great place to work is really where it all starts.
Yep.
And, trusting the judgment of the team that we have doing, the important patient care work, and knowing if they feel engaged and they feel supported, they're bringing their all, and that will certainly, be felt and make a positive impact on our patients, which is the most important thing.
Yep, absolutely. So what if anything, is there that you really want people in Muscatine? If they don't already know you,
Sure.
if they don't know Rachel, what are some things that you feel like are important for people to know about you out in the community?
Sure. I mean, I think, so my husband Ben is a PA at the clinic, and when we came back, originally I started my career at the university before we both moved back here. And I think, when we came back, we sort of just had this mentality of being all in on healthcare locally, and what can we do? We're small enough, to your point, that sometimes we can be really nimble and we can think on our feet and make things happen quickly.
Yep.
And so how do we leverage that into making positive healthcare changes locally? And so I never want to lose sight of that. I think, on a more personal note, we wanted to come back to this community because of community leaders, not always just in official positions, but just parents willing to coach us and parents willing to volunteer for things that we wanted to be a part of growing up. And so I think just knowing that I really hope to bring to this position a good blend of being strategic and understanding the strengths that we have as a smaller organization with a well-engaged staff, but also just as a community member, just how can we use the strengths that we have as a whole community to benefit the patients that we're taking care of and the people that come to the hospital. And so I guess I just always want people to know that I'm so open to feedback, and that the experiences that they have here are important and they're important to share, and I always want to be open and receptive to that, and always pushing for positive changes moving forward.
Yeah, I love that. I think, one of my favorite parts, and I was so excited when you got the position, I just have to tell you that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because, and I feel like it really was because, you're a local person who cares about our community. I know that because you live here, your family lives here, you just said your husband works here. And so those all, we can say what we want, but those all make an even bigger impact on the way we want to work for, this hospital. This hospital is going to be providing care for your kiddos and, for your family and, for your church and, all of those things. And so I really feel like that has a huge impact. And on the work that you'll do here and the passion that you have. And so I think that's so amazing, and I'm so excited about that.
Thank you.
But I think that's important for people to know, is that you are Muscatine. You're here. So one last question. So, and just kind of speaking to what I just said, you're from Muscatine. Can you talk a little bit about your involvement, like just in the community itself? Maybe some of those familiar, experiences that people might have seen you out and about. What ways are you involved in the community?
Well, having 4 little kiddos, it seems like we always are trying to volunteer with their own activities as well, so whether that be through coaching, some of their leagues, but also, they go to St. Mary High School, and so we try and be really active in their school, and, that environment has been really great for us to kind of get to grow and have a team around us of parents also doing, similar things. And so, and like you said, a lot of I have a lot of family in the area, and that's always been awesome for us, and you understand that, that's huge. And so, we always want our kids to feel proud of where they're from. And so I think that making sure we're taking advantage of the opportunities that they have to be involved, in sports or other activities, but also that they're able to see a lot of the things that Muscatine has to offer, and just making sure that, they have that pride also. And I think, I'm so invested in trying to have this be a community that they, maybe want to come back to someday, and that they, want to be tied to moving forward. And so anything we can do to help them understand and see, all the things that we love so much about being from here.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what the future holds here locally and for you and your new position.
Thank you so much.
And I really think that this was a great decision that was made, and I'm excited to kind of see where you guys go. And it certainly is a great team. So many faces here that I love so much myself. So I always love when I see, positive, a lot of times you only hear about the bad stuff. And so it's so fun to see when somebody posts something really good about it, because it's like, yes, like those things happen every single day here at our hospital. And I know personally that the staff works so hard here, and I'm glad that they have leadership that they can depend on, and that they know a familiar face they can feel like they can go to. So
no, thank you so much. I appreciate the time, and I'm excited to work with them and for them, and it really is a great place.
Yep, awesome.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna go to a quick commercial here, but I'm so glad that you joined us today, and that we got to come and be here. It's always fun to kind of get out and go to a new place too. So I was excited for that. I hope you guys feel like you got to know Rachel a little bit more today, and we'll continue that as things happen. You can always read Discover Muscatine on updates, things that are going on here locally at the hospital. It's very fun to see the column that is in monthly, you know, from Unity Point Health, and just about wellness in general and different things that are happening. And so those are ways that you can stay connected to the hospital as well as Rachel. So I hope that you guys continue to stay engaged in our local healthcare. So thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We're going to go to a quick commercial, and I'll be right back to finish up the show with you all.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.
So like I said before the break, just really awesome to be able to meet Rachel and just hear some of not only her goals, but hear how she's truly from the community and is excited and looking forward to working not only for the community, but for the people who work here, and most importantly, the patients here at the hospital, moving forward to make sure that Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine is a place that we all can count on, and that we all can come for our health care when we need it the most. So I'm excited and looking forward to the future in that way. I just wanted to remind you, there's a lot of things coming up this weekend. So hopefully you guys are signed up for the Big Brothers Big Sisters Bowl-a-thon this weekend. I'm looking forward to a lot of fun events coming up in the next few weeks. And so hopefully you guys get your calendars out and are ready for the show tomorrow, because we're going to be talking about some things coming up. And I want you guys to have your pencils out and be ready to write those things down. So make sure that you have on your calendar that Big Brothers Big Sisters this weekend, the Bowl-a-thon. Even if you're not signed up, you can always go and be involved in the silent auctions and some of the other fun things, and just that fun environment down at the Rose Bowl this weekend. I believe that bowling starts at 2 o'clock. There's a session at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So if you aren't signed up, but you want to go down and maybe put your name on some silent auction sheets or buy some raffle tickets, maybe enjoy some food, please still do that and kind of enjoy some of that environment while you support a really great cause. So I am looking forward to this weekend. I hope you guys are too. Thank you for joining us on Wellness Wednesday. We will be back again tomorrow. And like I said, bring your pencils and be ready to hear about some events coming up in the community. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. sharp. So I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for joining us here at Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine today. We will see you tomorrow morning. But until then, don't forget that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
Here at Toyota Muscatine, we believe it's important to be strong supporters of our local community.
And that's why we donate thousands upon thousands of dollars to local Muscatine charities each year.
It's the reason why all of our employees are local to the area and have a vested interest in our community.
We value our customers, so when you shop here at Toyota of Muscatine, you will be treated like family.
So remember, when you shop with Toyota of Muscatine, not only are you sure to get great service, but you're also supporting local.